Well, Dossie, I love it when a guest gets off a plane from Italy and comes straight to the dos&d show. And we've got the man, we've been waiting a long time for this one, the prime trained Tom Baulch. Welcome to the dos&d show.
Thank you, lad. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Feeling refreshed?
I am feeling so refreshed. We were just talking about it off air. I feel refreshed, recharged, and just ready to go again. Like I've had a long couple of cold months here in Melbourne. It's a bit too cold for me.
I feel ya. Yeah.
It's I definitely feel a lot better now. Refreshed, recharged, and just ready to go.
Nice,
mate. Take us through the Europe schedule. I want a bit of a
here we go.
Just have a look at the countries we went to, maybe some highs and lows, and how do we go?
Great question. Well, I started in Italy. I'll package it up for you. Started in Italy and then spent a week in the south of France in Nice. It was just the most beautiful place. I've never been to South France before. Nice was amazing. And then I went with my best friend and my sister and spent a week in Ibiza. Now that was less nice, but a whole lot of fun. It was fantastic. We stayed at this hotel where it's basically like it's like a festival every single day. So the first night we had David Guetta, second night Tiesto, then we had Calvin Harris, Martin Garrix, Fisher. It was just the most insane week of my life, and I had a lot of fun, enjoyed myself, let my hair out, and like I said, come back refreshed.
And then you decided to cut it off. So.
I decided to cut off. Mullet's gone, for anyone that's wondering at home. Nah, I just tuck it in my hat every now and then because I was actually watching a video. I did some boxing training this morning. I was watching it in the video. I was like, geez, probably needs a bit of a cut, mate.
Will you cut it off?
Mate, it's a good question. I think when I don't know.
It's the brand.
Do you reckon I should cut it
No,
off?
I don't think
absolutely
so.
not.
No.
I don't think I'm ready yet. I think maybe a year, maybe 2 years down the track. I've said that for the last 2 years, so it just keep adding it on. My missus always tells me, she's like, probably.
She hates it?
Maybe time.
Don't cut it for nothing.
She's warm to it. She's warm to like it. So she's slowly getting used to it. And I'm I think I just need to keep it a bit more well manicured because I cut my hair all the time and color
yourself.
It. Yep.
You cut it yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's an issue. I need it. I need to get someone professional to do it.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's time.
That's why I wear a hat everywhere and tuck it up in the hat.
It's the party at the back and business at the front. Must have been a while. Did you even prepare to go to Europe? Because normally this would obviously be middle footy season.
Yep.
And was it? Josh just knocked himself out with the old
headbutted
microphone. But was this a planned thing, or was it once you got injured that they gave you the opportunity and it was a quick decision to go?
Yeah, so I actually had 2 weeks free with buys in the middle of the year, which was fantastic. We had a buy and then we had like Hall of Fame weekend, which was basically another buy. So back to back, and I was like, cool, I'm going to go to Europe and spend 2 weeks there. And then I got injured, out for 10 weeks, tore a few ligaments in my ankle. And then I was like, I probably just need to refresh, like I said before, and get out of cold Melbourne, but also just, I felt like I was at a bit of a standstill with content, just with business, and like I didn't really feel like I was that motivated, and I felt like I just needed to get out and kind of just give myself a rest. And I think that that's a massive thing for anyone else that's out there that probably feels like they need a rest. Like, go and do it. You know, like you'll come back so much more just energized to actually do things in your life, and that was definitely what I knew that I needed, and I'm so glad that I did it.
Do you feel like, though, you're never doing enough? Because that's what I struggle with sometimes, like especially from a content perspective, that's your game. Like, there can never be enough content, to be honest. Like, there can always be more. Do you struggle to put the phone away, or to obviously you went to Europe. Do you struggle with it when you're here?
Yeah, I definitely do. And it's one of the most, it's quite toxic, isn't it, at the end of the day? Because it's like, you see, who's that bloke that tells you need to post for like 20 times a day?
Probably Gary V.
Gary V.
Yeah, he's in Melbourne today, actually.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I might have to see him. No, but Gary V's like, you need to post 20 times a day. You know, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's kind of like, bro, like I got to live a life as well. And it's really important that you find that balance. And I think that that's something that I recognize when I come back. It's like, hold on, like I've got all these, you know, I've got mates, I've got footy mates, I've got family and stuff. Like you got to make sure that you can balance your work and your home life or your friend's life and family and all that type of stuff. So I definitely do feel like that at some times, that I need to be doing more. And sometimes you just got to check yourself and say, I'm doing enough, you know, and and things are going to work out in the long run.
For sure.
How long's it been since you've really blown up? When was that initial kind of peak? And where along the timeline were you able to really go all in and basically turn into your career?
Yeah, so I was working as a personal trainer while I was at University of Queensland studying to be a sports journalist.
Okay.
Oh.
So, interesting origin story. But anyway, kind of was doing a bit of PT sort of stuff, and then I was like waking up at 3:45 a.m. in the morning for my first client at 4:15 a.m. in the morning. Who are you allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah, mate,
Who
absolutely.
the fuck trains at 4:15 a.m.? Like, that was just ridiculous. I was like, why do you want to train that early? But anyway, they do what they do. And I was like, I need to figure out a way where I'm not waking up at 3:45 in the morning every day. So I was like, I need to, really push this online sort of stuff. And it was probably 2021 where I was like, TikTok is kind of starting to blow up. It was kind of already blown up. You had your Charlie D'Amelio's and Addison Rae's that were doing dance videos, and I was like, well, I probably need to use this app that's so famous and post some kind of fitness content and continue to post. Guess what Reels is now, and I think that changed the landscape of my whole life really, and that started to blow up. And I remember probably I was very lucky at the start. I posted 10 videos and the 10th video blew up and I had 50,000 followers like that kind of thing. So it was the early days of TikTok, it was very easy to get a following. And I've grown it to like 300,000 now, and probably the first 150K was fitness based, and that was where it all started. And so 2021 was probably where it all began, and kind of just tried to post the fitness content. And like I said to you guys off air, it then became kind of the AFL guy and started posting a lot of AFL
Where
content.
does the balance come in with the two then? Because you love fitness, but you love footy. What do you focus more on? I'm sure you have to kind of juggle those two balls all the time. It's probably a terrible analogy.
Well, I think that at the end of the day, I'm a business. So what I've got to figure out is selling, and what programs are going to sell the most, what's going to sell the least. And then you focus on that, and then you kind of, funnel your content into that. So for me, the programs that sell the most are the AFL programs. So if I funnel my content into kind of AFL specific training videos and stuff like that, continue to sell more and more AFL programs. And that goes hand in hand with the merch and the apparel and all that type of stuff. It's supplements. It's really important to kind of check yourself as a business and make sure that your content aligns with what you actually really want to sell at the end of the day. So that's probably where my content ideas all come from. It's like, how can I actually funnel this piece of content into someone going and buying a program of mine, but not make it too shoved down your throat, salesy.
I was telling you off air, I was at a school last week, right, and they're all 10, 11, 12-year-old kids, and half the boys, they all had the Prime cut, and all they wanted to talk about was Prime, which is awesome. But then I asked them a question like, careers, what does everybody want to be? And probably 50% want to be content creators, YouTubers. I asked them, probably 50% of them wanted to be gamers or Minecraft or that kind of thing. But in terms of you making money in your business, what's kind of the percentage of where your income comes from? So is it programs? Is it YouTube? Is it brand deals? Where does, if you could.
That's a really great question. I think that it's also something that a lot of people have no idea.
No.
Firstly, where the money actually comes from. But then the second thing is how much money you can actually make.
Yeah.
So there's two, there's probably, if I look at all the income streams, revenue streams that you've got your programs, which probably make up 20% of my sales.
Okay.
And then you've got kind of the merchandise, which probably makes up 50%. The Prime Unwind hoodie.
50%?
The merch sales are crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also difficult because these things change seasonally. So you
have a drop here, a drop there.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like in the middle of winter, you're not going to sell that many programs. You'll sell a shitload of hoodies.
Yeah.
So all the hoodies will start selling there in winter. And then anyway, going back to your question, you've got all these different, revenue streams, and you can make brand deals if you post a video for Puma. Let's say, for example, I'm a Puma athlete. So let's say I post a video for Puma, you might get $2,000 for that kind of thing, or whatever X amount, whatever it is. So that's a revenue stream as well. And then you've got YouTube, which you can get money from your YouTube videos. A lot of people always ask me, how much money do you make off TikTok? Zero. I've never made a single cent off TikTok. As you guys probably know, it doesn't matter how many videos you post, you're not going to make any money off TikTok, but you can monetize your followers. So if you've got 250,000 followers and you get 1% of them to buy to buy something, you know, off your website, you can make a lot of money from that.
How do you build a following? Like for someone that, like, all right, those young kids that, I want to be a YouTuber. Do you have to pick a niche? Do you have to work out exactly what it is you want to talk about? Or do you just create and just hope that, let's hope one video blows up?
It's a really good question. No, it's a great question, because that is, everyone wants to have a great following and you know, I guess be famous or Insta famous, TikTok famous. A lot of them think they want it, and then when they actually get it, they might not actually want it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Answering your question, I think that the way that you can grow a following, and like my following is quite culty. They really are just ingrained with everything that I do, and I think that comes from...
You've brainwashed them, Brom. You've got them. They're in.
I've got him. I don't know how.
You've got them by the balls.
And that's what I don't know. Like I don't know why. Yeah. But like for what I do, I just try to be as like honest and truthful about the person that I am and the feelings that I'm feeling. And you know, I did a post last night about how I feel like I've been a little bit lazy recently, and I want to get back to, you know, being this fitness guy and, you know, getting up early in the morning, working out a couple of times a day and doing all these type of things. And it just comes back to being raw and honest, and people love it, especially on social media. If you post, you know, like a transformation photo or like a photo of you on the same day, and it's like one with good lighting and one with bad lighting, and you look fat and useless in one, and then the other one you look shredded, and they're like, they kind of get to see that there's two sides to social media, and it's like that honesty, people appreciate that so much more than if you just post always a great photo of yourself. It's like, it's not actually achievable. So yeah, that, but like you said, realistically at the end of the day, you got to just keep posting as much as possible and just hope that something blows up.
Well, for us, so we did a bit different to you. So our following is nowhere near your size, but we've kind of got around 25, 30K now in different...
Which is incredible.
Thank
Congratulations.
You. Appreciate it. But nowhere near your level, mate. But for us, we decided, like, we wanted to go down all in on this kind of avenue and that kind of thing. So we decided we're going to not sit on our ass and wait for to hit 100K and then wait for the deals to come in. We went out and sourced them ourselves.
Awesome.
So we started cold emailing, cold calling, just getting onto brands initially just to get the ball rolling so we can say we've worked and been paid for brands, and then everything kind of snowballs from there. So what do you think about people being proactive in going out and actually making it happen for themselves rather than waiting?
It's a really great point. And that's something that I definitely did at the start. I'd go out to brands and DM them. I think you can DM like 100 people a day. So like...
How did you sell yourself? This is interesting.
What's that?
How would you have sold yourself back then?
When I didn't have any kind of following, I would just say I'd do everything for free kind of thing. And it was basically the way that you would do it is like, hey, like if you send me, let's say Puma, for example, hey Puma, can I please promote these new shoes that you've got? I'll do you a free campaign and like post it and make it look great and whatever. I've got 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do that, and then what you can do from that's your start, that's your stepping stone, and then you might move over and do something for Uniqlo and say, hey, I'm going to promote this shirt. This is what I did with Puma. They paid me $100 for this. Can I do this with you?
Yeah.
And then they pay you $100. You could lie.
It's old school selling,
You know, it doesn't matter. That you just say, oh, Puma paid me $100. I work with these guys. They really loved it. This is the content that I did. This is what I can do for you. This is what I can offer you. Or $50, or do it free again. And then you can kind of... The only way that you're going to get other brands to look at using you as a promoter or an ambassador for their products is if you've got runs on the board.
Yep.
So you've got to start off doing some free stuff at the start.
How many are in your team? Because you look at what you've created, who you are as a brand. I'm sure a lot of people don't actually understand that you probably don't do everything yourself.
No.
So maybe actually share who is in your team, what certain people do in their roles.
Yeah, fantastic question. And it's so true. Like I'm lucky that I'm the sole CEO owner of Prime Train. No one else can, take or
trademarked.
No one else can take it away from me, mate. No one else can take it away. So I'm really grateful for that. And probably my number one piece of advice for anyone out there that wants to go into business, do it with yourself.
Yeah.
Don't go into business with your mates. Don't go into business with other people. It doesn't end well. And I knew that from when I was a young lad. My old man went into business with with another bloke that they were best mates, and it didn't go too well, didn't end well. And I was like, that was the first time that I was like, I'm never going into business with a mate or just with a family member or anything. It's a really bad idea. Unfortunately, you guys are in it. But I think it's a little bit I don't know. Sometimes it ends in tears, sometimes it's good, but I think
we'll be the 1%.
You just got to be. You've got to be 100% sure, and you've got to have. If you're going to, my advice, if you are going to go into business with a mate or with someone, you have to have set out guidelines, contracts, everything before you go into business, because then things get a little bit tedious. If you need to break up, and then you want to take 100% of it, and you want to take 100% of it. It's like, where are you guys going to go from there? So that's what I would say. If you want to go on a conjoining one,
we do need to do that actually.
We do.
Have you not got that?
Yeah, no, we do.
We've done a few bits and bobs, but we're probably not. There's probably still grey areas, I suppose.
You need a lawyer to set out. You've got 50, I've got 50. This is how much the business is worth.
Yeah.
If everything goes to shit, like, we can sort it out. But anyway, like the team that I've got. Very fortunate that I've got probably 10 employees that help me out. I've got a lot of people that help me out with the programs. I myself am not a sports scientist. I am a personal trainer, but I've got sports scientists that help me write the programs and everything, which is fantastic. And then I've got other people that can help me with editing videos, photographers, videographers, all that type of stuff, which definitely help you out with the business. And at the end of the day, you can't do everything by yourself. You have to be able to outsource, bring other people in, so you're not 100% busy all the time.
It's awesome. We will go into obviously the recent controversies, because we've got a lot of messages. Everyone wants to talk about it. But just before we do, and it sort of goes down that path, what's good for business, what's bad for business? And sometimes they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. But when shit does hit the fan, or you're copying a bit of hate, how does that actually do for your sales? Does it increase or decrease, stay the same?
Great question. Again, you guys ask very good questions. I think that it can. You stumped me.
Well done, Dave. Well done.
Got him.
You've done well. I think that with that quote, the publicity quote, I think that it's not true. You can get bad publicity, and it's not going to be good for business. Like, yes, it might get your name out there, whatever. But if a lot of people know you and a lot of people don't like you, well, you're not going to sell anything. It doesn't.
But does that create your cult though? Because for me, like, I look at and we talk about this all the time. The people that are really successful in this game, they're polarizing. There's 50% love them and 50% hate their guts. And a lot of them cross over. They start as haters, and somehow along the line,
John Cena-ish.
Yeah.
John Cena-ish,
well, like, you're never gonna be successful without a hater or haters.
That's right.
It's never gonna happen. And unfortunately, you're gonna, on your way to climbing up the ladder of whatever ladder that you're climbing up, doesn't matter if you're, in a business by yourself or, in a bloody lawyer firm, whatever, like, you're going to make some enemies along the way. Unfortunately, it's just the way the world works. Some people aren't going to like you. But the last thing that I care about is the people that don't like me. Like, I'm not going to focus on them. I'm going to focus on the people that do, and continue to create content for them, and continue to, just help them on their way, motivate them on their way to do whatever they want.
With the Europe trip, was part of that to get away from what's just unfolded the last couple of months?
It wasn't at the start.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, it was actually just like, it was more, I'm injured. I can't work out or anything like really that well. I can't kind of create content like I could on footy. It's like, I just want to go away. It's like, I've never done a Euro summer. I probably never will again, because I've always got footy this time of the year. So bloody hell, like, this is happening. The cards are being dealt. I'm just going to play my hand. And
did see at one point he was doing a workout with a rock. That was amazing. I thought, geez, was Prime Train just making the most of every kind of opportunity.
I
watched the whole video. I thought, fucking hell, well done, Prime.
No.
I got no excuses. I can walk out of this office, I'll pick up a plant if I want to and maybe do a few.
It's funny. I was in the Italian Alps, and I picked up. I was staying at this little shack out there, and there was no one around. There was no phone service. So I picked up a rock and did a work.
Why not? Love it.
That was, good pickup. But there's never an excuse, I don't reckon. People always looking for bloody excuses in this world. Everything's so easy. Like, we've got scooters to get around doing, like, no one bloody walks anymore. Everyone looks for a shortcut and everything.
Yep.
There's shortcuts everywhere to get around anywhere. It's like, there's a pill that you can take that you can lose fat. Just like, bloody go out there and go for a run, mate. Like, actually do it. Take the hard yards for once in your life. And I don't know. I don't think enough people do that. So I try to get that through on my content a lot of the time.
Is there a style of content or piece of content you actually dislike making?
Ooh.
That you're like, it's like...
Tedious.
Yeah. Just gonna get it done.
Diet? Is it certain training elements?
Oh, I think that I don't dislike it, but the game day vlogs that I do on YouTube take a very long time.
Yeah.
And the difficult thing is that I film it on the Saturday, obviously, when I usually play. And then I have to have it all edited on the Sunday because it takes 10 to 15 hours to upload it onto YouTube because the files are massive. They end up being like 50 to 100 gigs. Like,
do you edit this yourself?
Edit myself.
Fuck.
So on a Sunday...
People don't understand this shit.
Oh. Sunday when I am tired as a dog, I probably had a couple beers after the game, whatever, and I just like my body aches. I just want to go catch up with my mates. I spend 15 to 16 hours sat down, footy's on usually in front of me, and I'm just tapping away on my laptop for 15 hours. Usually it's 8 a.m. till like midnight, 2 a.m.
Wow.
Like that's my Sunday. Doing that, just producing the game day vlogs. And I probably earn per vlog like $1,000 to like 1.5. Like it's not that much really for like spending a whole day on it. But I don't know. Is that a lot for one day of work? I don't know.
It's not even about the money aspect. It's more along the lines of like, because it still seems the whole vlog thing is still relatively new for your brand.
Yeah.
Like, so in
people love them, but they
I know.
They
so
froth
in 5 years' time, like those videos are still going to get watched.
Yeah, but in 5 years' time, like I don't know how much bigger they can get.
True.
Because like we said before, footy's a niche market. It's not like NFL or basketball. It's not watched around the world, even though they're American sports. Like soccer maybe is a better example. It's not watched universally. So how big can you actually get posting footy content? I don't know, but I don't care. I'm gonna keep posting it because I enjoy it. I love playing footy, and people out there seem to enjoy it and see it as like a massive motivation for them. So I'm not going to stop that. That's for sure.
Because I look at the Sidemen and what they've created, and obviously, it started off as football, or soccer, but it transitioned into they've all got their own brand individually in their own channels, but they're almost comedians in their own right, and they're able to create not just soccer content now and everything else, and collaborations like. I know for a while there was the whole cherry pickers thing that was going to happen.
I was going to touch
and
on that.
and that was like from the outside, it's all right. This is the Aussie Sidemen because we do believe in a couple of mutual friends of ours. Like YouTube is so untapped in Australia.
Yeah,
it's so untapped.
We're 5-10 years behind all those blokes.
So cherry pickers, that obviously something was going to happen. It didn't.
We had the best plan ever to do cherry pickers, and it was myself. We obviously had the NTF boys, and then we had Kados, and then we had the Shepmates. So it was going to be a really cool little team up. And we did one video. The first video we did kind of all together was a goal kicking challenge. It ended up getting 200,000 views, which is incredible, But
great thumbnail too.
It was a great thumbnail.
So that was the first. That was going to be cherry pickers.
Yeah,
so that was Kados.
That was Kados' YouTube video, and we did that video, and it did so well that we're like, let's make this a series. Like, let's become the cherry pickers and let's do it. And we started an Instagram and everything. And then, the Shepmates kind of pulled out 2 days after we created it. And I know the reasons why they pulled out, and it makes sense. And I think in hindsight now, I'm like, seeing what they've done and what they've achieved in the last 12 months has been fantastic, or 6 months probably. And I think that they made the right decision. And I know that there was a few other things involved in their decision, which I won't mention, but yeah, that was probably, again, in hindsight, the right decision.
No, we caught up with them about a few months ago, and they explained it perfectly, and that makes total sense. I'm interested with the game day vlogs at the very beginning. I know you've probably been asked this question a million times, but what was the reception like with the boys when you start saying we're going to be filming our local games and I'm going to be dissecting every part of it like that? I would have loved someone doing that at my club,
mate. Like, it's so foreign. Who the hell thinks that they're good enough to grab a camera and start filming their local footy games? Like, who do you think you are, mate? Like, that is just the most foreign thing ever to Australian culture, because we are not like that at all. That's kind of a bit more Americanized. Like, it's a bit more individual. And it was something that was not like, I don't think it was greatly received. And I think that the issue initially I actually didn't do any preseason with the Noosa Tigers team. So I was playing in Darwin, pretty much rocked up on round one, and I was actually banned for 2 or 3 matches, the first 2 or 3 matches, because I had a beer on the field. So I couldn't play the first. I had a beer. The last game of the NTFL season, I had a beer on the field, and it was everywhere, like all over social media. It was on radio shows, TV. It was everywhere. And then I was banned for the first 3 games of the Quaffle season. So I pissed off and went to Vegas for the first 3 weeks. So went to Vegas with kind of my missus at the time was a boxer. So I went off with her to Vegas for 3 weeks, which was fantastic. And then come back and started filming all these games. In the first 2 games, I reckon I had 10 touches and 12 touches. So didn't play well at all. And
were they aware? Did you get permission and everything? Or
no, I just kind of grabbed a camera and started filming.
What can they do?
Yeah.
They don't care. And I was so lucky that I had the best coach who was so supportive. He was probably the first one that was like, I love this. And he's an older bloke. He was like 60. So it's quite unusual for like someone that's been in footy for that long
set in
to
their
be
ways.
so supportive of it. He was the first person that was like, bloody love it. Like, let's do it. It's good for the comp. It's good for the team. It's fantastic. And then the next thing was kind of getting the 22 boys that you play with to get around you. And that was kind of, I thought it was going to be difficult. And I was fortunate enough, there was 3 people really. There was Michael Bussey, Tommy Rourke, who were probably the 2 most social blokes at the club.
Yep.
And then the captain, Aaron Lasky. And it was probably in my 3rd game. I remember it was against my old club and someone come and bashed me. And I remember those 3 blokes came straight up to the guy and just like laid into him. And there's nothing more supportive than if your boys are backing you up on the field. And that was the coolest thing for me.
Well, this bloke next to me used to be a superstar for the Q Bears, actually.
Yes, very good.
Not a superstar.
And he used to like a bit of rough and tough, didn't you?
No, as a kid, I've mellowed in my age. Yeah.
Any good fight stories?
He told one recently, actually.
That's going back.
Yeah.
I might tell you off air because we recently did this on another podcast. I want to bore the listeners, but I'm interested too because the positivity that it's brought, especially for the Wang Rovers. Now, I'm lucky enough because I've got mates from the Wangaratta region, so I understand. I've been educated prior to this about how important footy is up there. And in that league,
it's like a religion.
It's totally different. Yeah. Like you play for the Rovers or the Magpies, like you are a superstar in the town if you're playing ones, but
if you're playing ones, I've already been out for 10 weeks. You're going to call up the coach and be like, hey, mate, please don't play me through the 2s.
but to get that deal or for them to bid for you, I don't know how it works, but for them to try and get you on board to come and play, and obviously I know you've got connections there, but for, let's say, next season or the year after, if you were to move on to another team, like the deal, like the publicity that club gets, I don't think it's talked about how positive the impact is for that club by you just being there. And that must be amazing, like just to see the kids that come week in and week out to suburban grounds and out in nowhere just to have the opportunity to meet you, grab a photo, grab some protein.
I can't believe it. It's so humbling to see when like kids rock up to the game and then they're just keen to get their hands on something or just get a flick. It's like it's incredible for me, and I think that I remember kind of having the first couple of meetings with them, and I didn't really want to like kind of big note what I'd do or anything with them. And I was like, like you'll get some pretty good publicity out of this. I obviously play footy and I want to be focused on, from my footy sense and talked about from my footy sense, but also happy to, to help out in any way through the social sort of stuff. And I remember the first practice game I played, I did this, got in a fight with someone and then got the ball and kicked a goal, and it ended up getting 1 million views on TikTok.
Yeah. That was such a good video, and I think there was a song. The right song was picked with that video too, which it was great.
And that's when they were like, and I remember kind of sending it to them and say, like in the first 24 hours, this has already got 1 million views. This is what is going to be. This is what's going to be kind of normal for the club, and they were like, wow, like this is, and they probably didn't understand the magnitude of it before. And then when we started getting, I think that we had the biggest crowd ever to the round 1 game between the Wangaratta Magpies and the Rovers. And I'm not going to say that I was the reason for that, but I was definitely a part of the reason for that. And it was great to just see so many people through the gates.
Did they thank you private? Like, I know it's probably a hard question to answer, but did they ever come up privately and just go, thank thank you for what you've done, or thank you for bringing this energy back. Has anybody said that? It might not be involved in the club, but locals that watch it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's usually from parents. They'll usually kind of come up after the game and say, you know what, like I've driven from Geelong today to just come meet you. And it was funny. There was a game that I wasn't even playing, and I just come to like help out on the bench because I was injured. And this mum come up to me and said, you know, me and my son have come all the way from Geelong just to meet you. And I'm like, dude, that's like a 4-hour drive. I'm not even playing. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the coolest thing. And I think that the most amazing thing is just when I get family members that come up and just say like, you've like changed the way that my son has or daughter has lived their life, and it's the coolest thing ever. And that for me was like, when that happens, I get like a really nice, feeling.
But I don't think I don't think people realize, like, imagine the target you put on your back. Like, I don't think people give you enough credit, in all seriousness, for it's very difficult to go out, know that everyone's filming you, everybody's watching you, you're putting a target on your back every single week. That's fucking difficult. Like,
it is. It sucks. And yeah, the issue is everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
You know, and I generally, it's not usually work the other way. Like, I don't know who the bloody hell they are. And they just give me stick about it, and I don't know anything about them, so I can't give them any shit back, to be honest. I can't say anything back. But
it's amazing what you've done, mate.
No, I appreciate it. But I guess that comes with the territory. If you're going to post on social media and you're going to do it and you can't accept the clap back, then don't do it. You know, it's like you're going to have thick skin in this game. And if you want to be posting yourself playing footy or your footy highlights, like, you're going to have to be ready to cop it. And I'm ready for sure.
Do you like, I'm sure nightlife changes a bit now that, you know, you are someone, and I say that respectfully. Like, I'm sure, you know, you walk into a nightclub and obviously everyone knows who you are. Like, and I know you're not sounding like, people think that's cocky saying that, but it's true.
We've heard some great stories from mutual friends.
But like, if you go out on a night out, do you genuinely enjoy it? Or, you know, have you noticed girls totally all of a sudden now they just want some interest? I know you have a missus.
Well, usually it's funny because a girl, like, I think that 90% of my following is male. Yeah. And I know that 90% of my following is male. And it's funny because I might be just like chatting to a girl, and then like a few boys come up and ask for a photo, and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, good question. I play local footy. Yeah. And they're like, what, dude? Yeah. Like, why people ask for photos? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, it's a different kind of world that we live in now. And with social media, and I say this to everyone, it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You could make a name for yourself. You know, I play local footy, and I'm known by many people, and that's amazing for me. But it just goes to show, like, that would never happen without the power of social media 20 years ago. Yeah. You know, people aren't coming up to you in a nightclub and stuff. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky that people do that, and I try to not get too pissed on a night out to make sure that I'm nice to people when they come up to me.
But then there's I'm sure you've, like, I asked you before, like, how's your mental health? Mm-hmm. There's obviously the really shit aspect of it, which is the death threats and the, you know, just horrible stuff. Like, there's the other aspect of it. Can you share a bit about that, how you deal with that? If you know, do you really struggle with it?
It's a really good question. And mental health has never been something that I've really struggled with. Like, I've always been... And I don't know why, but I remember watching a podcast clip the other day of Tom Holland, and he said, if you have a problem with me, text me. And if you don't have my number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. So
yeah, that's good.
I love that quote. And I was like, that is awesome. I was so nervous I was going to butcher that, but I got it right. I'm pretty sure I got it right.
And it was the guy who played Batman. Yeah. He's the one who actually said it, and Tom Holland took that quote off him. It's a great quote.
It was a great quote, and it was like, that's so true, you know, like, if you actually do have a problem with me and you like message request me over Instagram, it's like, I actually don't know you and you don't know me. So how can you actually have that much of an issue with me if you've never met me? And it's like I said to you before, as Mitch Roberts said to me before I met you, I actually didn't really like you. And he's like, after I met you, you're a great bloke. And it was really good. And that's the kind of thing. And it's really difficult with social media because you post things online and people might get this idea of the bloke that you are or the girl that you are. And I think that when you actually meet people face to face and you're a little bit different, or you're just I don't know, a bit more personable, then people really find that they can relate to you. But like, going back to your question with the mental health, that I think that, like I said before, you don't have to worry about the opinions of people that necessarily their opinions don't matter. It's a really difficult thing. Mental health is is something that should be talked about a lot between mates. And me and my housemate Louis and I, we chat about it all the time. We always check in with each other, and I think that's a really important thing to do with mates.
It's unfortunate because I think the general consensus on social media is you almost have to prove to people to like you. Like just the start always is, I dislike this person. Well, that's the consensus I hear. Like we cop a fair bit of hate, and probably nothing to the level that you cop, but we cop our fair share. We're like, fuck, like they get personal sometimes, which is great. It actually fires us up. But I know like one of my mates was saying, like, before even watching your content, just straight away, flog. But why? What is it? Because, and that's the thing. And then they watch your content, and then 2 weeks later, this specific person goes, oh fuck, I love him. And I'm like, but what's the difference? You didn't meet him between, and the thing was, I actually took the time to go watch a vlog, and I enjoyed it, and I like it, and now I've like accepted it. And I think even in myself, Logan Paul's a good example. Like at the start, I fucking hated him. Did I have a reason to hate him? No, there was no reason. And then listen to his content. Fuck, now I really admire him, and it's.
I think a big aspect of that is jealousy, though, too.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I think that two things with that. Like, firstly, in Australia, and secondly, probably as a man, it's really difficult to go against the grain. You know, if 5 of your mates say, you know what, I hate Prime Train, he's a flog. You as the sixth person takes a lot of guts to say, I actually quite like him, because then you got 5 blokes saying, nah, mate, you're an idiot. You know, he's a flog. It takes a lot of balls to go against the grain and say, you know what, I actually don't mind it, you know, because it's way easier to hate on someone than it is to love someone.
Yeah.
Way easier. It's just an easy way out. It's a cop-out. And I wish that more people were like, no, you know what, he's actually all right. Or like, she's actually all right, you know, like, and my biggest, like, I think one of the quotes that I love or just things that I love is, don't make an assumption on someone until you met them, you know, like, don't have all these ideas in your head of what a person's like before you've actually met them. And that way your life will be a lot easier and be a lot happier of a person.
Yeah. We have to ask, I mean, have you ever been GoPro'd in your own house before? I just have to.
Do you know what's funny? We teased it a while ago. The listeners have had to get through 35 minutes, so we strung them on.
I can't wait to see the title. It's like Prime Train versus Anabolic Game.
The thumbnail, the 2 heads.
It's like, like all the secrets. And everyone's listened to 35 minutes of this, and they've just heard me banging on about everything.
But you know what? It's shit they actually love listening to as well.
Yeah. Hopefully they haven't just skipped to this part of the potty.
No, they wouldn't have, mate.
Yeah, I have been GoPro to my own house. I'm so I think at the start of when everything was happening, I was definitely searching for advice. And I was getting a lot of advice from Louis and from my managers and stuff. And I was like, what do I actually do here? Because all of this is a lie. You know, like what do I do? And they're like, it'll blow over. Just stay quiet. It'll sort itself out. And I remember thinking in my gut, no, like I need to respond to this because this is not going to blow over. You know, this is going to be a thing for a while unless I say something about it. And it didn't. It was 2 months later and I was still getting advice, no, let it blow over. It'll be okay. And I'm getting smashed. You know, I'm getting comments. Like I had to turn comments off pretty much for all my posts and everything because I was just getting absolutely just destroyed. And I guess I had to eventually, after a week of being in Ibiza, I was like, I didn't post really anything for a week. And I think that my head cleared and I was like, this is the best option here. And I'm actually glad kind of that I stayed quiet for a while because it did show a little bit of maturity. And a lot of people saw maturity as guilt. They thought that I was guilty. If me not saying anything was me saying, oh, I put my hand up, I did that, I'm guilty. So that was for me a mature option. And in hindsight, I think that I'm glad. It's 50-50. I think that I'm glad that I didn't post anything. But eventually I did have to post it. Speaking of the GoPro kind of part of it, that was obviously after Gab had gone to a nightclub and filmed Louis talking to his ex, who we had no idea was his ex. We thought they were still dating because Gab hadn't talked to us for a while. And Gab filmed that and posted it on social media saying Louis is hooking up with his ex. Obviously false. Me and Louis have misses, so not going to be happening. And then he also lied and said that that someone else sent it to him, and he was like sitting in the corner, kind of like filming it, trying to like change the narrative the whole way through. And he did that, and that was very fully received by everyone on social media. Louis is a snake, Prime's a snake, you know, because mate, if there's anything you don't want to do as a bloke, especially in Australia, is dog your mates. It's the number one thing. You don't dog your mates. And that made Louis look like a dog. And we were getting death threats. We were getting people rocking up to our house. It was a full-on situation. And then Gab come to pick up the rest of his stuff because he was moving out. And we were very unhappy because we had been, you know, slated on social media. And Gab probably knew that. And that's why I brought the GoPro in so he could get a reaction out of us. And then the video is obviously being cut and divided a lot into what suits his narrative.
I noticed there was a few things beeped out when it was him talking.
Yeah. Seems to go mute when he's talking. But that's interesting because, I remember kind of coming downstairs and saying, you know, mate, are you all right? Like, do you think, you know, what you're posting is okay on social media? And he like was getting the go, you're a snake, you're a fucking... And I'm like, whoa, bro, chill out. And that's all been cut out of the video kind of thing. And I was very, very calm at the start. And then I probably took it a bit too far. And looking back on it, I own that and say that was probably the wrong thing to do. And there's so many learning curves for me and Lou and hopefully Gab as well throughout this whole situation. And hopefully we can all come out better people on the other side. And mate, I take ownership. There's plenty of things that I've done wrong in my life, and and I know I'm not a perfect person, so I own them, and hopefully everyone else does as well, and keeps self-evaluating their own lives and making sure that they keep getting better. But I think that was a struggle street kind of time for the way that my life was going, and it was a very difficult 2 months where I was kind of tossing and turning, like, do I need to post this or do I just wait for it to blow over? And it just didn't. It was just continuous like hate and harassment on social media. And it was just every single day a new thing. I'd wake up, a new allegation or a new bloody accusation of something that I was doing. And it was like, mate, if you could share your best mate's group chat, everyone would be going to jail.
Fucking right.
I'd be really concerned.
I'd be
imagine someone in your group chat has gone rogue and just starts posting everything about that you've said.
We're fucked.
Mate, you're fucked.
Well, everyone's going to see my penis. So
that's the thing, you know? Like, I've said some pretty outrageous things to the boys in the groupie. So I think that was definitely something that was really scary. And then I guess that my comeback was to post bad things. And it took me 2 months to actually decide this. And unfortunately, with fire, sometimes you've got to fight it with fire. So I had to go through the archives and find stuff about him and post that on social media as well, just to give him a taste of his own medicine. And since then, everything's kind of mellowed out a little bit and kind of chilled out. And hopefully it could stay that way, because I don't see the benefit in anyone getting anywhere if your only goal is to bring people down on social media. And that's never been my goal with social media. It's always to help and motivate people and try and make everyone else's life better. I've never used it to tear anyone down. And if you do use it to tear people down, you're not using social media the right way.
I've got so many questions around it, but it's not necessarily what happened, but it's more what you went through. So, for example, like, I'd be interested when it all started blowing up, like, how did you even manage and handle it? And there's all these things going on, but also, like, the time he drops the big YouTube video, the infamous video,
I must admit, when that dropped, here we go.
Oh my God, everybody did.
Ever.
But where did you watch it? How quickly did you watch it? Were you with Lou? How did it? Do you remember what were your
popcorn?
What were your reactions during it?
Me and Lou were out having Yochi with Bo McCreary, which was interesting. And I remember it got posted. Now I think that Gab wanted to post it a little bit later, but what actually happened was his ex got a restraining order against him, so he had to, like, basically, I think he was scared that me and Lou were going to get restraining orders against him as well. So basically, the restraining order meant that Gab had to cut a lot of the video out. There's probably 15 minutes of the video that you had to cut because Mercedes, the ex, she did a restraining order against him and was like, you can't post anything about me on social media, blah, 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 otherwise you go to jail, basically.
Wow.
So
okay.
a lot of it had to get cut, and that's why I felt like he just posted it kind of. There wasn't any, like, real lead up.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't too much lead up to it. So basically posted it, got it out there, and I remember me and Lou were like, shit, we got to get home. So we get home, we watch it together, and it actually wasn't that bad in the end.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall watching you guys, like Gogglebox, like they're watching their reaction.
That'd be hilarious reaction to
that would have been a great video.
That would have been good. Me and Lou just like, there was a few times where we just like, look, we had to pause the video and look at each other and be like, yeah, that's just not the truth.
Yeah.
So what happens when there's like an outright lie, for example, or something that's so untrue? What do you do in that when you're being told to stay silent?
That's the thing. It's like you want to speak up so bad. Like you want to be like, this is so wrong. But it's like you don't want to add fuel to the fire. Like I did not want to add any fuel to the fire because I knew that he would go as low to like ruin everything that I've created. He'll go through any group chat that I've said anything or post any photos of me like doing anything. And it was a really scary time because I was like, I was threatened, you know, like and we were all threatened. It was like, if you post anything, I'm going to ruin your career.
That's what I'm interested in. When he says things like, I'm keeping receipts, for example.
Yeah.
Things
like
that.
I'm keeping receipts. I've got like all this evidence. Like I'm going to ruin all of your careers. It was like,
are you genuinely worried by that?
Like,
or not really? Like, or do you go, fuck, like we do need to hold back because if you might be thinking there could be shit that.
Well, because I'm not the kind of person that's going to go as low as that. Like I was never the person that was going to post anything online of like receipts or like, you know, of group chats and everything. And it just got to a stage after 2 months of harassment where I was like, I have to, like, I just can't do anything else because if I this is just going to keep going. And like, I'm going to keep getting comments on my stuff and like, I couldn't really post anything on social media for a month. Like I said, I had to turn all the comments off and everything, and my engagement was terrible. And just like because everyone was like, oh, no one could comment on his videos or anything. So it was a really difficult time. And me and Lou were the same. We couldn't post anything on social media for a long time without just getting absolutely slammed. So it was it was definitely a difficult time. And you know, like you said, it was hard for me to kind of figure out what do we do? You know, we're stuck. It's like we're calling people. You know, this. And like just the people that were actually in this situation like knew the truth. Yeah. Like the managers, myself, Lou, the ex-girlfriend obviously knew everything, and we had like all of kind of like a group chat basically of like this is a lie. Like we all knew what was a lie and what was a truth. But this is the first time I've really spoken like freely about it, to be honest, because I've had to keep quiet on it for so long because I've been so scared about what's going to come out. But I'm so glad that I did like a TikTok video and it ended up getting like 350K views and people just understood the full story.
And the fact you didn't monetize it either.
Yeah.
Like you could have made a YouTube video.
Could have made a YouTube video. I'm just like, what's the point, bro? Like I just wanted to clear the air and let people know that I'm not a horrible person. I'm not perfect. 100%, and I don't think anyone is. And if you think you are, then you're probably doing it wrong. But I wanted to clear the air on it and make sure that everyone knew the truth.
Can I ask how does a friendship like so long for Louis and Gab? Like, I find that pretty crazy. Like now it's just gone. Like this friend, like was that a slow build up? Because they were so close.
Yeah, look, that's a really difficult one. And it's something that we kind of revisit a lot of the time. Like, how can you, after being mates with someone for 12 years, 11 years, how can you go on social media and say he's hooking up with my ex when it's not even true? You know, like how can you get to that depth of anger for someone? And honestly, it came from jealousy, I think, because, you know, myself and Lou it sounds a bit, maybe it sounds a bit bad
Louis blew up.
But Louis blew up, and Gab even said it in his YouTube video. He said, I was Anabolic Gab, and Louis was the other guy. He was known as the other guy. And when Louis blew up on social media, I couldn't sleep at night. You know, like I found it really difficult. And that was, I don't think that Gab was actually that happy that Louis blew up, because now Louis was the biggest, you know, out of anyone. He was by a mile. He was way bigger. He was bigger than me and Gab combined. And I think that really threatened him, and he felt like he needed to bring him down a peg. And same with me. He felt probably threatened as well and tried to bring us down a peg. I don't know if that sounds bad or not, but like he kind of said it in his YouTube video, and it was probably skimmed over a little bit, but that was probably the feeling. Like, to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know why you would ruin a friendship over something that isn't even true. You know, like how does that even? That's when you get into the how does that even happen? We don't even know. It's a question. It's a question to ask Gab, because he'd be the only person that would know.
Do you ever see yourself being mates with him again? Is there any way it could be rekindled over time? And what would it take, do you think, for that? Do you even have an interest in it? If he sincerely, even if it took 5 or 10 years, sincerely apologised, do you think you can see yourself being mates with him again?
It's a difficult question. It's a difficult question, isn't it? Because you weigh it up and you're like, how can you... Forgiveness is a very important thing to have, and resentment and spite will be the death of you if you worry about it too much. So I think that my mature brain says, yes, I can forgive him at this current moment right now. If he said sorry right now, I would struggle, because it's still pretty raw for me, and it's still very raw for Louis as well. I won't speak too much on behalf of what Louis feels, but I think that we've struggled to kind of come to terms with someone that's willing to go so far to ruin your career, who's someone that you called your best mate at one stage. And that was really difficult for both Lou and myself. So could I? It's a question that I would like to answer in a year.
Yeah.
Right at this moment, it's too raw. I want my maturity to say yes. But what are the things that have to happen for that to actually come up? Who knows? And I don't know if it ever will. I do hope that we can see eye to eye once again, all three of us, one day. But obviously, me and Lou still live together. We're best mates. Like, we're happy as Larry, and I'm very fortunate. I've got fantastic family. I've got fantastic mates. I've got a manager as well that backs me, and I've got a lot of great people around me. So me and Lou were both very lucky that throughout that whole period we had each other, and that was the strongest thing that you could ever have. Have someone by your side the whole time that was supporting you and that was going through the same thing. Because if either of us were going through that separately or individually, gee whiz, that would be difficult to deal with. So we're lucky we're under the same roof and we can kind of take the hits together. And now, fingers crossed, we're through the worst of it. And we can just continue to live life and create content freely.
Bridge over troubled water. Well and truly over it.
But what do you reckon? If one of your best mates really screwed you over that badly and tried to ruin everything that you've created and make accusations about you that aren't true, whether it's racism, sexism, any of that type of stuff, homophobia, and post it on social media, what would your response be, and would you be able to forgive them?
I'm a big believer that if you don't forgive in the long term, this is going to sound a bit cuckoo, but I genuinely believe if you don't forgive someone, it can really bottle up into like some type of cancer, whether that's physically or mentally. So I think if one of my best mates did me the wrong way, like exactly what Gab's done to you guys, I couldn't forgive straight away. Like, I think I would have to really...
You need time.
Yeah, you need time. But I know in the long run, I would probably, for my own sanity, like, I don't think I could live with not forgiving a mate. But at the same time, everyone's circumstance is different. Like, fuck, I don't... You guys are in the social light in front of everyone. It's been viewed by the whole world, like millions and millions of views. So it's different, I think, from a normal average Joe. But what would you do?
Well, I can't sit here and say it because I haven't been through it. So I can easily say... I'd like to say...
That's a cop-out. Don't
cop
out.
I'm about to say...
I put my heart on the line.
I was about to say...
Don't cop-out answer me like that.
It's not really my place.
No.
You're asking me all the hard-hitting questions. That was my time.
No, well, I was going to say, it obviously, like you said your maturity. I'd like to say the same thing. I'd love to forgive someone. But having said that, I don't think... that the trust is forever broken. It's like somebody cheating on you, right? Yes, I know people that have been cheated on. It's happened within my family circle, and people have stayed together, and there's been pretty bad situations. Yeah, they've been able to patch it up, which is great, but the trust is broken forever. So despite, yes, we can get along and we can make things work and we can move past it, it's still that's never fixed. Like if you cheat on someone, right, for example, they might forgive you, but every time you go out, they're going to have sleepless nights worrying.
Right. Well, I think that's the point. I think that, yes, I could forgive him, but I don't think I could ever be friends with him again, if that makes sense. Because once you break that trust with me that badly, it's like there's not really a foundation for me to build it back up and be your friend or your best friend again. To forgive, though, is something that I could do.
Yeah.
But that's completely different and unrelated to like becoming a friend is different to forgiving.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole nother step. And it's like, once you've broken that trust, it's really hard to build it back up again. So yeah, I'd just be very careful if we're ever in a group chat together again about what I'm sending in.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Exactly right. We might have to be careful what we put in our.
But that's the thing, you know, how many learning curves do you get from it? And this has happened to me in my life because, like, the way I see it is, this happened to me in my life, maybe because I was a little bit too bloody nonchalant about what I was, you know, I'm in the public eye now, and I have been for 2 years, and maybe I have been a little bit nonchalant about what I've posted on social media, what I've sent to a group chat, you know. Like,
that's a great point.
And you know, it was a really difficult time for me, but in hindsight, I need to change some of those things about me, and everything happens for a reason. So I see it as a way for me to improve and positively change the way that my life's been going. So like I said, it's a learning curve, and it's something that I need to work on. And I'm not perfect, and one day I hope to be, but I don't think it's ever achievable. But perfection isn't what you work towards. It's progress. So
that attitude is exact. Like, and we say that all the time. When things fuck up, which I always do, the way to get past it, I've found for myself to get past it, is to go, okay, there's a reason it's fucked up now, and it doesn't happen 2 years from now when we really can't afford it.
Don't make the mistake again.
That's right.
You know?
Exactly.
You fucked it up now, and that's okay. You own it. You accept it. There's plenty of moments. You know, I haven't been perfect throughout that whole time. There's things that I've done wrong. The way that I treated him when he come to the house was wrong. I could have been way more reserved and way more respectful, and it's just all a learning curve. And there's so many learning curves for me throughout it, and hopefully for him, and hopefully for Lou as well. And if you don't learn from it, then you're never going to be a better person.
What was, because you would have, what was the worst thing someone might have wrote to you after all that happened?
It was a death threats.
Yeah.
It was like, like put a gun in your mouth and pull the trigger. Like, there was one that was really bad, but it was, like along those lines, you know, like, and, you know, like, you're a snake, you know, you're the worst person ever, you know, go find the highest bridge you can and jump off it, you know, like, and that sort of stuff. It actually doesn't affect me that much. Like, I'm like, whatever, you know, like, you must have a very difficult life if you feel the need to message that to someone, you know, like, you must have some serious insecurities, and I actually feel sorry for people that do that.
Yeah.
I do. I feel really sorry for them, and that's difficult. But I think that, you know, it's just the complete skewed nature of your personality, and it's like it's difficult when people are posting something about you on social media and it's wrong, you know, and it's like, that's actually not who I am. Like I said to you guys before, like, if you don't like me from what I post on social media, that's fine, because I own that. That's what I've posted. That, like, whatever. That's your opinion. But, like, if it's what someone else has posted about me that is a lie, and then you don't like me because of that, that's difficult for me to accept, because that's not actually who I am.
Yeah. I've got one final question on this, and then we've got some fun coming up with the game.
It's good. I enjoy this.
This could be, I don't know, and I don't know how you answer this, and if it's comfortable, and I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but if Gab's sitting here right now, what would you say to him? If he was sitting here and he was willing to actually...
Is it recorded or not? Because
let's make it not recorded.
No, but let's say the mics aren't on. But, like, how would you go? How would you even feel if you were standing in the same room as you?
If by some weird thing someone invites us to the same place and we're sitting in the same place together, believe it or not, it's actually happened after the situation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had a few events that we went to together, and you just treat them like a normal person. It's funny because everyone was coming up to, like, me and Lou. They were like, "Oh my God, like, Gab's here, Gab's here."
Yeah, that's
and I was like, "Bro, like, we don't care. Like, it's not like he's not gonna, like, fight us or anything. Like, we're not gonna fight him. You know, like, we're not freaking Neanderthals. We're not gonna, like, like, go for violence. Like, we've been in the same room after it happened. We all went to this, like, influencer, like, dinner. That sounds so cringe, but, like, we went to, like, this, like, event.
You got invited.
We went to this, like, influencer event, and I'm not an influencer, but, like, there was other people there that were, and we were all there, and it was just like, shake his hand, like, move on, you know, like, it's like just the same that you'd talk to anyone. Just you you're human beings, bro. It's 2023. You're not Neanderthals. You don't go and grab a rock and try and stone him or something.
Yeah.
Like you just and there's other people around, and it's just like I don't know. It's you just treat him like a normal person. I don't know. Like people think that you're going to like grab him and start a fight or something, or like, I don't know. It's not how it would happen. But that's how I'd handle it.
And this is probably the most important question about it. Was the room left good? He got his bond back. Everything was okay. Did you find a new roommate okay? Like, what was it?
Difficult.
Did you smash his bike?
He sent in this like Excel spreadsheet of like all the things we need to split up, and he's like, because he kind of just like moved out of nowhere. Like it was like. Yeah. It was kind of out of nowhere. Like we had this kind of argument. He was like, I feel like you guys picked, a brand deal over me, and we were like, not really. And then we kind of said, if we always pick you over these brand deals, we'd have no brand deals. We wouldn't have any. And then 2 days later, he messaged said, I'm moving out of the house. And pretty much after that happened, he sent in like this Excel spreadsheet of like 50 different things in the house, because we all bought things as like a 3. Yeah. Like we bought like air fryers, like gym equipment.
Give me my share back.
Yeah, it's like, so he's like, you need to give me like 33% of all of these. Like this is how much you need to pay me. And then he's like, these are the things that I'm going to take. So like we'll minus that out of that. Like did a full like mathematical equation of it. And then we've got like 15 grand worth of gym equipment that I signed for because I've got a contract with Sumo Strength, and he wanted to take a third of that as well. And I was like, that's my stuff.
So that didn't happen.
No. I went to Sumo Strength. I'm like, can you just send him over the contract, please? Because he wanted to take a third of that as well. So, he like kind of did that, and then he did depreciation as well. he did like minus 5% for depreciation. It was like a full-on like ledger. It was actually
very funny.
It was pretty funny.
I must say.
It was pretty funny. And me and Lou like looked at each, and he wanted to take like all the good things as well. Like he wanted to take like the air fryer, and like he took like the JBL, like the big speaker that we got and everything.
Oh, sorry, he took all the podcast mics.
He took all the podcast mics, which like they split 50-50, and then he like thirded them as well, like put me in them. I'm like, I didn't pay for these bloody things. So that was pretty funny.
Very complex.
It was a very complex situation, and by the end of it, we were like, mate, just take these things, and like we're just going to keep the rest. Like we're not splitting them. Like this is just ridiculous. Like you've decided to move out, like just
Well, I've just moved out of our place, and all the shit's still there. Yeah, that we split pretty much.
Yeah,
like,
luckily we didn't buy too much shit. But
I think you have to if you're in a group house, like just buy your own stuff. Like you wanted to split like the cutlery, it was like $20. Mate, some of them were hilarious. It was like gym mirrors for $30 that you wanted to split like $10 each. I was like, come on, bro. Like he's a very intelligent man, like a very like quite incredibly smart. So he loves numbers and stuff, and like power to him. That's why he's a great businessman. He's a fantastic businessman, and he does well with 9-to-5 fitness. And so he's very calculated with like every purchase that he's ever made. He'll put them all in like spreadsheets. He's very calculated with how much he orders and stuff. Like he is a very calculated human being. So I know that part of him, and I knew that was going to happen. It was going to be difficult for him to kind of be like, no, like we've got to split all this type of stuff. Yeah. It was quite funny. Well, but we're all happy now.
That's good. That's good.
I think we are.
Well, we obviously, excuse me, we have a good relationship with Louis, we'd say, wouldn't we? Like Louis.
He loves you boys. I chatted to him today actually, and he said, how's the dos&d podcast going? And he's obviously in South Korea. I'm like, I haven't done it yet, mate. I haven't done it yet. I'm meant to be there, but we pushed it back a little bit. So I'll be there soon.
He's a ripper.
He's a ripper bloke. We have a good, and look, in fairness to Gab, we've only met him once, I think, and we had a pleasant experience, so we can't talk too much about him. But firstly, I actually really want to thank you, because you didn't have to come on our platform and spill the beans and talk so openly. So honestly, I really appreciate that. Have you got any more burning questions for Prime? Because we do have a quiz coming up, and I'm excited to take him on.
I don't have any burning questions. I think I'm ready for the quiz. I'd probably like to hear maybe one more about more or less a piece of advice for people who maybe like they're in a sticky situation like you, and whether it's in the public eye or not. But let's go from the friends aspect. Mm-hmm. How do you get through something like that when it's really like affecting your mental health and you kind of don't know where to go?
I think I'll just speak from what I had to do. I just had to take a break from everything, and looking back on it, and I said this to you guys off air, I think looking back on it, I didn't realize how much of a toll it was actually taking on my mental health. And I think that was something that I started to realize when I went away to Europe, and I was like, like it's much easier over here. I'm a little bit more free of it. And I think that, going back to your question, I guess advice for anyone that's going through, something like that, you've really just got to be, you got to be the bigger man for a long period of it. If you're having a difficult time, you might be at school, at uni, or, someone's kind of picking on you, like two things. One, like probably don't worry about it. But if you are worried about it, then probably have a look at yourself and say, can I actually change these things about me? And is this actually, is that true? Because there's a lot of things that Gab said about me where I was like, you know what? Maybe I am, maybe I'm some of those things. And like, take an actual look at yourself and say, be honest with yourself and say, I can change these things. If not, then it's okay.
Yeah.
If it's not true, then you just keep moving forward because it's false. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You sweep it aside. But if they do say something that is true, if they say you're skinny, and it affects you, go to the gym, bro.
Yeah.
If they say that you're a wanker, maybe you are.
Yeah.
Just to have a look at yourself and be like, okay, I actually need to change these things, and look for advice as well. Like I was lucky I had really good people around me. Ask your family. Do you have a problem like this with me? Do you think I interrupt you guys too much, or like whatever it might be, and keep progressing as a human being, because like I've said many times, none of us are perfect, but we're all growing, we're all progressing. So have a look at yourself and see if you can change those things. And if you need to change them and if it really affects you, change them.
Yeah. So give us all a little bit of a teaser with summer coming up and the footy season going away. And we spoke.
I've got one more question before we start advertising. And that I want to know, last serious one. What are your values? As a human.
Really
and this is I just want to finish on that before we get into the advertising, because I think it's a good way to finish. What actually are your 5 top values?
Awesome.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Great question. So I look at my life in goals, and I've got a whiteboard on my wall, and I've got, these are my goals for blah, 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 blah. Make sure I look at it every single day. And then I've got kind of underneath that, I've got, long-term goals, and long-term goal, obviously happiness, right? And that's, we all want to be happy, but what constitutes happiness? There's probably, like you said, there's values. You look at a few things. I think that the first thing that I really value is freedom. I like to be free. I like to be able to go to Europe for a week if I need to. I like to be able to make my own decisions in business. I like to be able to, have the freedom to do what I want when I want. That's why I became a business owner, so I could have that kind of financial freedom and just freedom in my general life. That's probably my first value, freedom. My second value would be relationships, and it'd be based around friends, family, extended family, anyone else that's involved. Relationships is the most important thing you can ever build, and friends, family, business, business relationships, I met with a guy just before, he's going to be doing some kind of stuff for Prime Unwind, doing just kind of content stuff for me. And it's you got to build relationships, and strong relationships will change your life. And it was really good in business. It's really good to have strong relationships, family, friends, because you can get things from each other. You can give and you can take. So that's really important. Freedom is obviously, like I said, is the most important, then relationships. And then I guess that my last value, if I'm going to pick 3, would probably be keeping fit and healthy. Yeah. And that's not just physically, that's in the mind as well. And how can you do that? How can you keep fit and healthy in the mind? It's, for me, it's waking up early in the morning, it's seeing the sunrise in the morning, it's getting up and going for a run or getting on the exercise bike in the morning. That not only keeps me physically fit, but it also keeps my mind extremely fit as well, and continually challenge myself, whether it's a cold shower or something, doing something that I don't want to do. Make sure I get a cold shower or something in the morning. Any of that type of stuff is really important. So they're probably my 3 top values that I try to focus on throughout my life.
I love that. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome question. I just want to add one more to it, because it prompted me, because
we're having so much fun.
You guys are hilarious. I love it. I love it. I'm here all day, baby. I'm here all day.
The previous guest we had a really good conversation around parents, right? And I'm not looking for a drawn out answer, but we've talked about how the public perceive you, how your friends perceive you.
Right.
Your parents probably know you better than anybody else.
Yes.
Give us 1, 2, 3 words that they would describe Tom as.
Ooh, great question.
Yeah, Ripper. 3 words. Not my forte. let's do like center of attention. Not 3 words, but we'll do
yeah,
that as the first one.
I like
Center
that.
of attention. Funny.
Yep.
And it's probably annoying. Probably the top
Well, he's
3.
honest.
They'd
He's
probably
honest.
be
You are
the top
honest.
3.
Oh, I
They'd
like
be the
it.
top 3,
I
I
love
reckon.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
mate,
I'll ask him. I'll send him
Yeah.
I'll send him a message today and see what they
That's
say.
good. That's 2 from 2 guests. They're going to have to go back to their
Yeah.
parents today.
Yeah.
And ask, well, mate, how have you enjoyed this stuff?
I'll be honest. I kind of don't want to end it because
I know, I'm loving
like,
it.
thank you so much for your time because we follow you, obviously having mutual connections. I said it to Dee. I said, I'm really looking forward to meeting Prime because I feel like we know you before it. And I'm sure all
that's
your
the
followers
thing.
do.
No, well, that's what Louis, I feel like I know you guys through Louis anyway.
And so it's great just to meet you, firstly.
Yeah.
But your honesty, openness, and I love, and I know we love, like that first value, that freedom aspect, that's what we love and we are all about as well. So like when you surround yourself with people that are in that similar mindset, like trust me, you're gonna walk out and we're gonna hug. And we're gonna
Hopefully better than our hug.
Yeah. We need a hug at the start, and when we
so
first met,
embarrassing.
I went for because I always go for the
You
for
went
like
with
the
the
bro
Gabe
shake.
shake.
Yeah, I go like these ones all the
Yeah,
time. Like
nice.
that's
Footy club.
But I think
I've gone for the...
I think the first time and then I come in.
We
with you
did
and
that.
I
Yeah, we did that.
because I stuffed that one up there. So like I think that
Then we went for
the first time you meet, you've got to go for the business
Yeah.
handshake, and then after you've met, then you go for the bro shake afterwards. So
there was a bit of an awkward hug. Then it was like a half hug each, and we fucked it
see,
bad.
the
It's
good
like
thing is
inspired
once if you do that one, like
Yeah.
then you can just hug after, and
yeah,
it's
nice.
easy to go.
Whereas
Yeah.
that you can't.
That
yeah.
one's like, oh, what do we do?
Yeah,
Nah,
okay.
it's fine.
I'll give you a
because-
proper hug.
See,
after
that's the
this.
thing we
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
we progress as human beings. And that's what
We
we're
won't
going
make
to
that
do.
mistake again. Well, mate, I was going to ask you a question about your content, but we've taken enough of your time. How do we all, obviously, I reckon a lot of people know who you are and probably already follow you, but for those who don't, where do we find you? And of course, you are kitted out.
Kitted out.
Bloody hell, it looks good. And I know it's rarer than rocking horse shit at the moment to get hold of it. But how do we get it? How do we get on the mailing list?
Mate, you guys are hilarious. That is too good. If you want to find me, you can follow me at Prime Trade on TikTok and Instagram. If you want my personal one, it's just at Tom Baulch. I obviously do a little bit of stuff. Go pick something up from the website if you want. You're very, very right. These are all sold out, so you probably won't be able to get your hands on them. But we should have some more in the next month, which will be very, very exciting. So keep producing, and hopefully people keep buying. Mate, you guys are fucking rippers.
Oh, mate.
Seriously.
After I know this is done, but we'll make sure we go and have a beer one night, or get a feed or
100%.
something.
I'm no piss this month, unfortunately.
no,
I'm
that's-
having
well, maybe
I'm
it's
having
just
a
a
pissless month, unfortunately.
couple of mineral waters.
Yeah, I'll have a soda. Just
I don't mind that. Well, for those that are listening to the podcast,
Audio,
we're now actually heading over to YouTube to do the AFL quiz. It'll be dos&d v Prime.
I can't wait.
Let's see who knows their footy best. So if you're on the audio, make sure you head over and watch that on YouTube. But for all those YouTube watchers, stick around.
Here we go.
let's go.
So very simple. Bailey's got some questions. They're going to be. He's going to name a year, a team,
Shit.
and then a player. Oh, sorry, no. What is it?
Yeah, year,
team, and then
team,
number.
and then number.
And
So
we have
it'll
to
be like
buzz in.
it'll be 2020
Essendon.
Collingwood number 4.
Yeah, cool.
And you just got to buzz in, and you got 3 seconds to drop that.
Fuck.
Hey, are you good at this? Well, before we start,
No, I don't reckon I am. It depends. It depends.
are you enough when it comes to footy?
Yeah, it depends.
'Cause you're Bombers,
we'll
aren't
see.
you?
Yeah, I'm a Dons man. We'll see how we go. It depends. Yeah, it depends.
We got it- we
We'll
got
see.
best
I don't
of
know.
10.
I haven't
you-
really done
Yeah.
too much of this.
You
sort
might,
of
be,
stuff.
you
This
might
is
surprise
interesting.
yourself.
We're going to welcome
good.
Bailey to the
Bales.
show. Thank you so much, Bailey, and thank you to
Bales.
Jai for writing the questions, of course.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, fellas. How we doing?
Good, mate. Good. We're ready to go.
All right.
Shoot.
Number one.
Wait, how do I buzz in? Do I just say Tom?
Tom or
do I-
Prime? What do you want?
What's
Yeah,
shorter?
sorry. Yeah, Prime.
Prime?
Let's do it.
No.
All right. First one. 2023. Collingwood. Number 4.
Dos. Braden Maynard.
That was quick.
That was quick.
So Prime, we
I
did this.
literally just
gotta
said that
say,
one
yeah.
before.
We did this with Dunks, Josh Dunkley, a
Yes.
few weeks ago, and Dos. Did you smoke him? Who? Oh no, Dunks
No, he
won.
dunks one.
Just, but it was.
No, I'm gonna get flogged in this. All right, come on. I gotta wake up.
All right. Next one. 2008. Essendon. Number 30.
D. Paddy Ryder.
Correct.
Oh.
Wow. Very good. Very good.
Number 3. 2020. Fremantle. Number 8.
Prime. Andy Brayshaw.
Nice. He's
Nice.
One each.
One
That's a
all.
good start.
Next one. 2016. Sydney. Number 25.
Dos.
3, 2, 1.
I know his name.
Prime. Is it defender? No, Sam Reid. No.
Well, mate.
Well, it used to be Ted
tried.
Richards.
Yeah, I thought it was Ted. That's what I wanted. That's what the defender.
He doesn't play anymore. I know his face.
I can't think of it. No, I'll give up. Who is it?
Ted Richards.
Is it?
Yeah, because I said
yeah,
defender.
2016.
And I read Ted Richards. He used to play at the Dons as well. God damn it.
Next one, 2013, North
You
Melbourne.
could see. You could
number
surely
10.
see the.
Oh, yeah.
No, I swear my
I
life.
swear.
I was looking. I swear I was
It's
not looking.
right there.
I was looking at the score.
You got to hide it. You
Yeah,
got to hide it.
I'll
You've
put
got it
on
on the table.
I put
And
my
he's
hand.
looking at
I
it.
put my hand on the heart.
Fucking little
I did not see it.
What is the
I swear
score?
my life.
It's 1-1.
I didn't
Like
know.
he's seeing
Mate,
it.
I would have taken Teddy
I
Richardson.
know. I know.
But I didn't.
All right. 2013, North Melbourne, number 10.
Prime. Ben Cunnington.
Correct.
Oh, well done.
See, Josh tried to throw us off with the 2013.
Come on.
I know.
2019, Hawthorn, number 15.
Dos.
Prime.
It was DOS first.
Taylor Dre.
Incorrect.
Prime. Carl Amon.
Incorrect.
Wait, what
that's
year
him
was it?
now.
What year was it?
2019,
15. Fuck. No, I can't think of it. No.
Blake Hardwick.
Oh, yeah.
Would not have got that.
What question are we up to?
This would be 7.
Of 10.
Of 10.
And what is the score? 2-2-1. Is that right?
Yep.
2-1.
Yep.
2-2-1.
Oh, 2.
Prime's up. 2-1-1.
All right, next one. 2009, Melbourne, number 22.
Prime. Russell Robertson.
No, he was
Incorrect.
24.
Oh, he was 20.
22.
2009.
Fuck.
Shamer Woden was number 22, wasn't he, for Melbourne back in the day?
D. Is it Michael Newton?
Incorrect.
Oh, he plays at Wangara, don't he?
does he?
Does he?
Utes, yeah. Magpies. Gun.
I don't know.
Yes, I'll pass.
No.
All right. Brent Maloney.
Oh, Beamer.
Oh, yeah. But
He went to Brisbane.
Fuck.
He went and coached at Noosa, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
All right, next one. 2022, Geelong, number 7.
Prime. Isaac Smith.
Well done.
Correct.
Well done.
He understands the game now, Prime. I reckon he's on. You know,
Straight away.
buzz in. You're
Buzz
on.
in.
All right, we're down to the final 2 questions. Best
We could draw
is
it.
a draw.
Okay.
All right, 2006, West Coast, number 5.
Prime. It was
D.
Uh,
D.
3,
D.
two,
Chris Judd.
D.
No,
one.
D. D. D.
Incorrect.
D.
Alright.
D. Shepherd.
What's his
Incorrect.
name?
No, it's Ben Cousins.
Number 5. Chad Fletcher?
Incorrect.
It's either Daniel Kerr or Ben Cousins, is it?
No, it's not.
Tyson Stengling.
Oh, no, Cousins was 9.
Cousins was 9, Judd was 3.
Yeah.
And Kerr was 4.
Kerr was 4.
I thought it was Shepherd.
I thought it was one of those 3.
Who? Brad Shepherd?
Nah, he didn't play in 2006.
No, he wasn't there back then.
Yeah, I went.
Stengline.
Would not
Number
have got
5
that.
used to be the
Well,
number
Prime's
as well.
got it. Do we want to
got it,
make this
so-
double points, lads?
Yeah, make it a double point up.
This one's going to be pretty tight. 2021, recent, Port Adelaide, number 19.
Oh my god.
D. Georgiades.
Correct.
Mitch Georgiades.
Are we doing,
Oh.
is that double points?
Yeah, so you guys face off.
You give us one off the
Yeah,
top
all
of your
right.
head.
Oh,
Yep.
all right.
All right.
How did I not get that? He's fucking one of my
Apparently
best
he's on the
mates.
move to Hawthorn,
Yeah.
Georgiades.
Nah, he's gonna go. He'll probably go back to West Coast. I don't
You
think I'm
reckon?
allowed to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um,
probably.
Think
all
of one
right,
off the
let
top
me
of your
have a
head.
think, lads. Footballer. All right.
This is good. We're on a face off.
Okay.
I need to win one. I haven't won one yet with a guest.
Oh, there's too many players to pick from, lads.
It is.
Okay. Number
Pick a
25.
year.
Pick a year?
You did
Two-
pick your phone up for this?
No, I'm right. All right, 2008.
Okay.
Number 2, Hawthorn.
D. Jared Ruffett.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
Finally got one. Finally got one.
Well done.
Dave. Well done. Oh, we got
Congrats.
that. Yeah, nice. Yeah, boys, don't fuck that up, all right?
Yeah, I was just actually nervous.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Prime, once again. Thanks to everyone
thank
watching on
you.
YouTube. Appreciate you sticking
Tight
around.
finish
to
at the end.
Yeah,
It
Tight
was
finish.
a tight finish.
Very nice.
Very good.
But I've got some improvement to do.
Yeah, but thank you for everybody watching. Obviously, subscribe, like, follow.
Make sure you follow this man if
Yeah.
you're not already.
If you want, so if you don't.
And thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Love you, boys.